Hello, my name is Mark Taylor and welcome to the Education on Fire podcast. The place for creative and inspiring learning from around the world. Listen to teachers, parents and mentors share how they are supporting children to live their best authentic life and are proving to be a guiding light to us all. Hello and welcome. I really appreciate you deciding to spend some more time with us here on the Education on Fire podcast. Today I'm talking to Andy Salmon, who's Sir Linkalot, and he has an app which is supporting children with their spelling. And the reason I wanted to just really emphasise this today is because apart from just the academic learning and support that it's doing, you'll hear from the interview exactly how it's supporting children in their confidence and their well-being and some really important human emotional things which it's really helping with, which you might not first think just from talking about doing a spelling app. So that's a really exciting thing that we're sharing as we're going through this podcast. Thank you to the National Association for Primary Education and their continued support. I really appreciate your sponsorship and all the help that you're giving to really get these messages out there to the wider world. And also, we've created a couple of PDFs which are the top 10 resources which come from the people that we've interviewed, either the things that they've produced but also things that they've recommended as well, which are really helping people in their overall learning as well as their academic studies. So do check that out. Just go to educationonfire.com, sign up to the newsletter, and you can download those top 10 resources absolutely free of charge. Really hope you enjoy today. This is Andy Salmon, Sir Linkalot. Hello, welcome back to the Education on Fire podcast. My name is Mark Taylor. Today I'm talking to Andy Salmon, and he's Sir Linkalot, and he's going to be talking us through his education experience and working within schools and this brand new product which is there, which is really changing people's lives and really making a big difference. So Andy, thank you very much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure and thank you for having me on.
Give us a quick snapshot of this new product, but then we'll sort of dive back into your education history and how you sort of got to this point.
Yeah, that's fine. I've got an app called Sir Linkalot, and that is me really, because I've been around to 500 schools over the last 10 years, spreading the joy of linking. The company, when I launched it in 2008, it's called Think a Link, try and find a connection. But when I launched the app a few months ago, I realised having Think a Link and Sir Linkalot as two brands, that we can't do that. So we've got to have Sir Linkalot front and centre. So it's now called Sir Linkalot. Even though the company is called Think a Link Digital Limited, the brand, the product is Sir Linkalot. Now, linking is a way to learn anything. Think of a link, try and find a connection. The word is actually officially called mnemonic, which is a really hard word to pronounce or spell. So I call it link because it rhymes with think. For example, Mark, never eat shredded wheat for North East South West. Naughty elephants squirt water. Never ever support West Ham. Got to be careful with that one. I ate till I was sick on the floor. 8 times 8 is 64. The 9 times table trick with the hands. Are you aware of that one?
I am, yes.
Oh, whoever thought that is a genius. It is ridiculously good. The spelling of because big elephants can't always understand small elephants. Richard of York gave battle in vain for the colours of the rainbow. I've invented nothing new. I've just done thousands of them. And I can tell you the story in a minute about how it all began. But the upshot is I've got an app called Sir Linkalot, which is about initially spelling. There's going to be maths in a couple of years' time, then geography, history, science. It's all facts. But initially it's spelling. There are at the moment about 400 words on the app, level 1 to level 5, 20 words in each bundle. I've attacked all the tricky words. They're called red words. I'm sure the fact you've got 3 children, Mark, you may be aware of these red, tricky, common exception words they're called.
Absolutely.
There are many phonics programs out there for phonetic words like dog, but I've got nothing for phonetic words. The phonetic programs have got that covered. They've got nothing for tricky words like the word was. I mean, really was. What is that? I mean, that should obviously be W-O-Z. It's a crazy, crazy word. It should be, why is that was? I mean, it's ridiculous. They, T-H-E-Y, that really should be spelt T-H-A-Y. I mean, what is that? Well, surely it's the, Is should be I-Z, of is O-V, go is God, the number 2 is twa, all these crazy words out there because we've got, our language is nowhere near phonetic, nowhere near. So much so that words ending with a shun sound, S-H-N, shun, there are 13 ways to spell the sound shun at the end of a word. 13. T-I-O-N is your banker, like attention, occupation. But there are 12 other ways, like optician, C-I-A-N, crucifixion, X-I-O-N. What chance have you got? English as a second language. So write down the word, I don't know, session, and good luck. Write down the word Martian. You haven't got a prayer. So this is really, really difficult language. It's really tough. And I realized years ago, right, I'm going to attack these words. No one has done this before, Mark. And the cool thing is for me, there's a massive demand for this product because it's literally the world is my market because English is the world language. Overseas, people's second language need to learn English. No one's attacked these tricky words before, and I've done them. And the app contains animations, 15-second animations to learn how to spell a word. For example, the word biscuit. Biscuit is a very tricky word because you can't hear the U. You may spell it B-I-S-K-I-T. Why wouldn't you? And my trick is the animation is I say to children, normally you dip your biscuit into a cup. But in this case, you dip the cup into the biscuit. And they say to me, what? What are you talking about? And I say the C is the handle and the U is the cup. And in the animation, beautiful animation, I've got great animators, so happy I found them. There's a cup in there and then the coffee or tea goes into it and they see the cup in the biscuit. And they say, oh my goodness, there is a cup in the biscuit. And what's really cool is on the app, it's not just spelling. I've also got punctuation and grammar tricks, rules and patterns, the vocabulary as well, homophones. But what's really exciting for me, ridiculously exciting, is Susie Dent from Countdown. I met her a few months ago, said, I love what you're doing. I want to tell children about words, and to get their attention is really tricky because if you said to a child, do you want to read a book about words and their history of them and these words you can't spell? Well, the child will say, what, are you just rubbing the salt in the wound? I can't spell them anyway. You're killing me here. But I then said, no, hold it. You can ask for biscuit because of my trick biscuit. You can spell it over to Susie. Her character is called Susie Lexicographer because lexicography is her job. Lexicon. Do you know the word lexicon, Mark? You probably do. It's to do with words, lexicon. So dyslexia is the fear of words. Take away the dis bit. Etymology is is what she does, and lexicography is her job title. So her character, her avatar on the app is called Susie Lexicographer. And she's got a Susie story, and she picks words, not all of them, that have got a good story to tell. So, Mark, have you got a French background by any chance? Have you got a French GCSE or an O-level, depending on your age?
I do have a GCSE, yes.
French. Any good?
Middling to average, I would say.
Well, play it down. Biscuit is, I didn't know this, biscuit is a French word. Do you know the literal meaning of this word? Any ideas? Break it down.
No idea.
B-I is like bicycle is two. Bis is double. Like bi is two-wheeled bicycle. Cuit is the past tense of cooked in French. So it literally means twice cooked because there were two parts of the process. Firstly, the biscuits were baked and then they were dried in the slow oven. So that's the story, and that's all animated, and that's the story behind the word. So my stuff is the gimmicky, clever, witty, funny, stupid way of getting the child's attention. And then if they want to, they don't have to look at Susie's etymology. Of course, they don't have to. But they may think, actually, now I can start spelling these words. You've got my interest. You piqued my interest. What's the story behind the word? And each bundle has two types of test. A multiple choice test, just to ease them in, because they may guess it and get lucky, like picking the second one. And then a crossword test for, the cup was inside what word? Oh, that's biscuit. And they've got to type every letter correctly. And it's level 1 to level 5. About 300 words, well, about 400 words at the moment, with more to come. And I keep feeding the beast and putting more bundles up. And the results are ridiculous. I mean, really ridiculous. I've done a case study recently, and children are improving so much. And the really key thing, Mark, is are these links sticking in the long-term memory? And there's all well and good getting them right for a couple of days. Like rote learning, for example. Rote learning. I mean, really, what is that? Do you ever do rote learning, Mark?
No, but you do see it quite a lot these days, still, don't you?
They're trying to fancy it up a bit by calling it look, say, cover, write, check. Okay, which basically that's a fancy way of saying rote learning. That's all it is. I mean, is that it? You mean rote learning? Yeah, rote learning. Yeah, that's all it is. Okay. Now, rote learning, it takes time. It's not fun. You can't join in and think of your own links. You can't create your own links. And it's not nailed on. It really isn't. Children, the only time rote learning is good is, I think, is the night before an exam. If you write it 10 times in a row or something, whatever it's going to be, it may stick for 24 hours, possibly. But within a day, it's gone. Within a week, it's gone. So these tricks of the cup in the biscuit, That a cup and a biscuit is a natural link anyway. They know that. You just put it together into a sentence. Or the word special. The CIA have got special agents. Inside the word special is CIA. But if the child has never heard of the CIA, that sucks. So as a backup, they hunt down criminals in action or try and stop crime in America. So that is just looking inside words. So what can you do with the word? But then it gets quite clever. And I've really, really worked at it. My background, Mark, is crosswords and puzzles and cryptic and word games I've never taught in my life. And maybe we'll get back to that in a second. But the product itself has been launched a few months ago. So Susie's on the app, which is really, really exciting. To get her endorsement is brilliant. She said to me, no one's ever tackled this before. I want to help children with spelling, but etymology can't always explain the spelling. Like qui in French for cook. Well, how do you spell that? It's not given that it's a C-U-I-T. So, Andy, you're filling that gap. As Sir Linkalot, you're filling that gap. This is brilliant. We can be a tour de force together, which is very exciting. And then 2 weeks ago, have you heard of it's the biggest ed tech show in the exhibition in the world? It's called the BET Show.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been there and I've podcasted from there, I think, a couple of years ago. Yeah, it's a fantastic event, isn't it?
It's massive, and for the first time this year, I was an exhibitor. I thought I'd give it a go. I hired the smallest possible space, 2 meters by 3 meters, because there's so much money. But that was enough for me. That was enough for my stage. There were 800 exhibitors there. 35,000 people turn up over the 4 days at the London Excel. It's the daddy of exhibitions for this. I entered my app. There are 20 awards they do, and I entered my app for the best educational app. 40 to 50 people entered. I got to the final. There was 8 in the final, and it was a black tie bash, the first evening of the show. 600 people there, black tie bash, and I won, and apparently I won by miles.
Wow.
Which is really, really exciting. And the only non-exciting bit is I did a dance on stage, and my daughter said, really? Really? Really, Dad? You do your dad dancing at home. I've spoken to you about this, Dad. You don't do your dad dancing in public. But he got the attention. So the app is getting good traction here, very much so. And the fact is, well, also, Mark, I sell it to parents directly on the app stores and Google Play, but also I sell it to schools. And the cool thing is for schools, it's cheaper for them. If they buy a big bulk order, I give a code to the schools and the school gives the code to the parents and the parents get it for free. So in a way, I could be shooting myself in the foot here. I'm saying to parents, don't buy it from the App Store and then get your schools to buy it. But your schools may take months to make the decision. So buy it and get on with it, and it will change your child's life. And for children who are struggling, I did a survey recently, 400 children last week for the last month at a primary school in Southend. They were tested on 20 words. The bundle is called Diarrhea Dickens. I call every bundle a sort of after a famous literary figure with a bit of alliteration, like broccoli Bronte, because broccoli is one of the 20 words. Diarrhea Dickens, diarrhea is one of the 20 words. Weird Wordsworth, weird, that sort of thing. And Diarrhea Dickens is level 5, and they're killer words there, like definitely, onomatopoeia, maneuver, fulfill, exhilarating, nightmare words for children of that age. We tested them beforehand, 400 children. Their average was 4.25, a bit humiliating. I pitched it too high. A week later, having seen the animations once, 4 or 5 a day, they went up to 13.5. 2 weeks after that, not seeing the animations again, they were 12, just under 12.5. So that is viewing it once, and they 3 weeks later. Imagine if they saw them once a week, the numbers would be through the roof. And children who really struggle, they improve much more. The others improve anyway, but for them, it's a lifesaver. For them, it's the old, oh my goodness. 90% of children markets confidence. It's all it is, I promise you. 10% do have a block, but linking finds the way around the block. That's my opening spiel, so it's quite a lot there.
No, absolutely. I think it's fantastic. And I think giving people the confidence is the most important thing. And I think we chatted just before we started recording about the way the system works and education generally. And I think once it becomes one interesting, like you say, piquing their attention and actually then understanding how it goes, the fact that you can keep going back and you can try new things and you get a sense of this is only positive. Every time I sort of get involved in it, I'm learning something new and I'm remembering it, then it has to spiral in such a positive manner.
Massively. And it really is two or three. Possibly the most fascinating point about this is children who struggle to learn, who've got a bit of a block or lack confidence or whatever it is, they are good at thinking of links because rote learning does not work. People who are, I call them linear learners, people who hear something once or see it and it goes in once, just there it is. Firstly, we hate them. And secondly, they're not necessarily that good at linking because in a way it's lateral thinking. You've got to go a bit different to try and commit something to memory. So children who find learning tricky are lateral thinkers. I call dyslexics, people who've got dyslexia, I call them, I made up a term called multilateral. That's my little term for it, because they're good and they've got to explore their creative mind, and they come up with some amazing links that they beat their peers. If they think of a link that works for them, it works. We can't say you're wrong. I may say that's very random. Good luck. I don't know how you got to that one, but good luck to you. It works. It works. And that's a massive, massive thing. I was at the school a couple of years ago in September, 300 year 7 children in a fairly deprived area. The best linker was a boy in the learning support register. He just saw things and played with words and stuff. And he got a massive round of applause as he walked out. He winked at me as he walked out. And the Senko said, head of learning support said, you can't put a price on that, okay? He may fade into the background within a day. I don't know, he may do, but that was his moment. And the boy walked out thinking, I don't know how I've done that. I've got no idea how I have. And for me, it's goosebumps. I've had 2 elective mutes talking to me. This is where I'm blowing my own trumpet to a degree. Firstly, I'm good at what I do, but the learning tool has to be really powerful. If it wasn't, people would see through me very quickly. But I'm a good salesman. But then again, people are sharp. And with this child, I do school presentations throughout the whole day, primary and secondary. I do whole year group sessions, but I also do 2 small spelling workshops at lunchtime for some weak spellers who could do with a boost. And this boy, year 6 boy, hadn't spoken in 6 months at school. I said, write down these words with these children. I said, write down sausage, bicycle, environment, onomatopoeia, and maneuver. They get them wrong, of course, or most of them incorrect. I showed them the tricks. They get them right. But in the afternoon session with the 200 year 5, 6 children, with the parents there, the staff there, I said, right, you children, a minute ago, who wants to spell some of these big fat words? He put his hand up and he wouldn't boom it. I walked over to him and he whispered the answer to me, and he spelled maneuver, onomatopoeia correctly, and he can't spell at all. He got a massive round of applause and he got points for his team. And the Senko and the parents said he hasn't spoken in 6 months. He has not spoken in 6 months. So it's a sort of horse whispery thing, because elective means I don't know much about that field, but I'm guessing most of them are probably not confident. That's my guess. And this instills it in spades. It's ridiculous how well this is going, really. But I wouldn't give up my job 10 years ago, Mark, if I felt it was a sort of half-baked, not half-cooked idea that's not bad. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't put my wife through hell and downsize the house for an okay idea. I know what I've got is a beast. It's a juggernaut.
And I think that the really important thing there, we were just chatting before about I'm sort of merged education on fire and learning on fire, which we're running together, and now we're putting it back in to become just education on fire. And I think what you just explained there is exactly the reason why, very clearly, is the fact that you have an educational tool here which makes a massive difference. But that personal and emotional difference that you made to that particular child is the essence of everything. And the two go hand in hand. And I think when you start to separate them out, we kind of miss a trick in terms of how powerful that can be. And I think that's a fantastic story to really explore.
Excellent. I think probably the most powerful story, I've got many anecdotes, but I think this one coming up is probably the most powerful one. And I was nearly in tears. Luckily, I had no mascara on. If I did, it would have run. I got an email from a mother of a 6-year-old boy who's severely autistic, and she said on email, I can't bond with him. I'm struggling to bond. I've got 2 other children. They're cool. Everything's great. I can't bond with him. We are now looking at your links and stuff and animations, and we're having fun together. We're thinking of links together. It's broken down a barrier. And I was nearly in tears when I read that. And that should be on the side of my van, really. But what an awesome quote that is. It's just, for parents use it free for home. And parents struggle with learning, don't they? It's no coincidence that a child who's a weak speller may have a parent who's a weak speller for whatever reason it is. And they said, this is great for me. Forget the children. And a mother who's Polish said, forget my child. This is great for me because your language is bonkers. I love it. So it's a big, that story, really. And one more I got is, I always incorporate the meaning of the word in the animation. So the cup and the biscuit, or the CIA special agents or something. And the Senko says to me recently, Andy, this is really good because When I teach a child who I work with the spelling of a word, it takes a week or two for them to embed it in their work. But because you've got the meaning in each animation, they're using it straight away, within seconds. This is fantastic. And this is where there's so many sort of byproducts, but the main thing is, Mark, it's just confidence. I mean, that is the thing. They think, oh, goodness me, I can learn. And you can't put a price on that. You can't.
Absolutely. And that is something we wish that, was embedded in school in across everything that they do, and that's why I love the fact that we're able to chat about these sorts of things and seeing how people who are slightly one step removed from the coalface, as it were, every day, can really make a big difference and support people that are in schools sort of day on day with the same people. So let's just talk a little bit about you said about having to downsize your house and your sort of career shift and all that kind of thing. So take us through a little bit about your background and how that got you to this point of actually deciding to create an actual app.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's an interesting background, I think. I've never taught in my life, never. I was in the money markets from 1988 to 1998, yelling two numbers pointlessly in a pit in the city. I mean, obviously it's lucrative. Not ridiculous, but still pretty decent. A man in my 20s, really. I was good at maths. I was very quick with numbers, and I'm quite a sort of friendly chap, and I was good with customers, and so that was really if you want to earn money, those two strengths for me, that's the way to do it. I did that for 10 years and did very well. That was 88 to 98. But my first ever link was in 1995. I was looking at the map of the world, and I saw all I was good for at school was maths and sport. I was rubbish at knowledge, hopeless. And I saw that each state of America had a capital city, which I didn't know. And so Ohio's capital is Columbus. And I thought, using my father's sort of wordplay puzzles and stuff, because linking is a challenge. It's a mental challenge. How can I link 1605 to the gunpowder plot? How can I link the capital of Sweden being Stockholm? How can I think of a link? It's a mental challenge. And I thought, well, Christopher Columbus, he never stops traveling. Oh, hi. Oh, he's gone again. Oh, hi. Oh, he's gone again. Ohio. I thought, oh, okay, that works for me. Now, New York State, I assume the capital was New York City. It's not. It's a place called Albany. Did you know that?
No, I don't think I did.
I'd never heard of it. It's Albany. And I thought, well, NY is New York. So all bars in New York never close. New York, the place never sleeps. All bar New York, Albany. I thought, oh, okay, that's handy. So I then proceeded to do all the 50 state capitals. Then the world capitals, obviously, OBS. And then I went on to history dates, Chinese New Year's, Oscar winners. I got the bug. Because how can I link, I don't know what it's going to be, 1939 to Gone with the Wind. It's just thinking of a link. And I do cryptic crosswords. I've done them for years. My father got me into that. It's really good, cryptic crosswords, because you learn the meaning of words very often, which is really handy. I've never played Sudoku at all, and I've got no interest, even though I'm a maths man, because you learn nothing. I get nothing. I learn nothing out of it. Absolutely nothing. So with linking, it's like a crossword, but it's another level. I'm learning world capitals, history dates. I'm learning, say, rivers of the world. You learn so much. And suddenly I'm now catching up with my friends on facts and roaring past them. I now then became good at pub quizzes. I wasn't before. All I was good for before was writing the answers and going to the bar, keeping everyone happy with their, nicely imbibed, and so they can crack on a couple of funnies. But then I became good at quizzes. That was 1995. So I'm still linking in the background. 1998, I left the money markets because computers turned up doing exactly my job, 24 hours a day, never wrong, cheaper, no sickies, no lunches. I thought, and cheaper, we're stuffed. So I left the money markets then in 98. I set up a recruitment company, ironically, recruiting people who are making me redundant, IT techies. I jumped over the fence. I did that with some friends for 10 years, 98 to 08, which went well. It was good fun. But forgive me for saying this, but recruitment really, take the job, it's great. You got to take Mark, he's superb. Take the job, it's great. You got to take, really, it's okay. But if I didn't do it, someone else did. It's not really that rewarding. Okay, financially, it's not too bad. That's why I set it up, really. But I was still linking in the background and linking away. And so I got linkitis, and I've got all these pieces of paper, all these facts I'm learning and putting it all together. And the year 2000, I hit on spelling. I saw that the CIA is inside the word special. I thought, right, spelling. Oh, okay. Elf, there's an elf in 12th. So at the 12th hour, an elf appeared. Elf 12. Oh, okay. Education. Spelling. Then I hit on maths tricks. Like the word diameter. If you do a capital D in diameter, the word diameter, the straight line of the letter D is the diameter of a circle. There it is. I thought, oh, and maths is my background. Right. I'm going to go for this. I started linking thousands of spelling words, all the tricky words, the, was, up to ridiculous words. I can't just do 50 words and then launch a website with 50 words. That's not enough. You need to do thousands. And then I did maths tricks. And I thought, right, I said to my wife, poor Alex, I've got to tell the world about linking. I'm really sorry. I've got to do this. She said, I know you do. You know, I'm nervous here, but I can't stop you. I don't want you resenting me. Let's do it. Here we go. So in 2008, I launched the company Think a Link. And I sort of got school gigs straight away. I've been at 500 schools in the last 11 years, primary and secondary. I've got 2 books in the market. One by Scholastic, who do the horrible histories. It's a good fun book with all subjects, sort of bedside cabinet classic book, or a Lou book, you know. And then I've done a spelling book as well, a big spelling book. So I've done this for the last 10 years. It's gone really, really well. You get nothing for the first year or so. That's how it is when you start your own company. But it's been brilliant for the last 10 years. And I even went to Kenya. It's an interesting one. I went to Kenya 3 times 2 years ago, and I had record book sales by miles. I sent out 1,000 books in a pallet. Record. I mean, I couldn't believe, because to them in Kenya, there's white Kenyans, black Kenyans, and Indian Kenyans. The white Kenyans bought some of the books. The other 2 just couldn't get enough. And I thought, wow, this really works. This works around the world. There's no doubt about this. And so a friend of mine who's followed my journey for years said, Andy, how's it going? I said, it's going well, but I want to build this app. But I haven't got the money for it. I've already taken my gamble 10 years ago. I'm not going to go through that nonsense again. I haven't got the time to build it. I've got bills to pay for my school gigs. You know, he said, well, how about maybe we can invest in you, myself and a few rich mates, and I've got a few mates who've got a bit of cash. And then part of that will be your salary. Therefore, forget the school gigs. I thought, okay, you got my attention. So May 2018, emailed these people, who wants to give me some money for this app? I got the money within days. Round 2 money last year again, and the app is really cool. I'm very happy with the app. I've got a couple of great designers and animators. They're brilliant, freelance guys in Brighton. I live in Sussex, even though I'm a London boy. And it was ready like a few months ago to launch, and you know, here we are now. It's I need to now to get this app around the world, every parent, every school, to learn English as a second language, and eventually, or even a first language, but eventually maths and other subjects, but all in good time. I've got to master the technical side of literacy first.
Wow, that really is quite a journey, and well, your passion obviously comes across, and your obviously your great interest for the subject and the way it comes through. And did you find being in schools all those time, delivering all those workshops and speaking all those things, did that help in terms of the workflow of the app? I won't say designing of the app, because that always sounds a bit more technical, but in terms of what it was needed and how it needed to come across to really sort of get that attention of the children?
Yeah, that's fair. That's a very, very fair question. I mean, it's just really for the last 11 years, 12 years, I've been doing my market research, really. You know, I try these tricks, or that's not worked. But what's wonderful is children have told me I've nicked some of their tricks. I say to them, look, can I nick that? That's brilliant. Yeah, you can. On my old website called thinkalink.co.uk, it's not there anymore. People submitted their tricks to the website. Their links went up there. I had a really good animator, tremendous cartoonist, not animator, cartoonist called Bill Stott, who's a classic sort of Punch magazine and newspapers, an old star, but very, very slick. And he did the cartoons. So they're up there on the website. The public give marks out of 10 for each link. There could be 5 links for the spelling of biscuit. So the cup in the biscuit is the most powerful one, averaging 8.73 or something. The next one down, cup of tea in a biscuit, the CU of the word cup and the CU of biscuit, or custard cream biscuit, the CU of custard, the CU of biscuit. There could be 10 links for a fact. You pick the one that works. Let's say you thought the link mark for biscuit is averaging 3.2. I'm sure it'll be better than that. People may say, actually, I like Mark's link. It's averaging 3.2, but it works for me. So that's great. Well, whatever works for you works. That's fine. And your name's up there. This link is by Mark Taylor. And the most popular ones have gone into my books. Then your name will be in my book. And the app in the future, I plan to have a facility where you can submit a link to the app, Mark, and I think that's genius. Yours is better than mine. Up it goes. And it will say under the animation, this link's by Mark Taylor. So children can share their pearls of wisdom, their creations. Parents do, teachers do. So it's not all about me. That's a really, really key thing. I am the safety net. I can think of a link pretty well on the spot. Not straight away, but I can have a good shot at it. I am the king of linking. There's no doubt about that, without being too arrogant. I've done it for years. I may not be the best linker out there naturally, but I've done it for 20, 25 years. There may be somebody out there who's better than me, who's like, you're raw, but you're really good. My goodness, you're great. But it's not about me. It's about the children, empowering them to think of a link. And when I hear a child thinking of a link that I haven't spotted, I get so buzzed. It's goosebumps. It's massive. It's not about me. I never put my name up in the app, the website. This link's by Andy Salmon. No interest in that. Even though I'm quite a confident guy, I've got zero ego. I've got no ego at all. I just want to tell people, look, this is a brilliant way to learn. I've loved it for years. Start thinking of links. But is there another important point to make? I say to the children, look, don't think you can think of links straight away. All right? Don't think you can. I don't want you to get down if you can't think of a link. It's taken me years. With them, you say to a child like the word crumb. You can't hear the B of crumb. I say to children, give me a word beginning with B that's something to do with crumb. And they'll say, bread, Sir Linkalot. Good one. The B of bread, the B of crumb. Check you out. Or the word thumb. Okay, you can't hear the B of thumb. I say visually, who can think of a link, the letter B at the end of thumb, can you think of one? And you put your thumb up. That's the letter B. There you go. You're doing it. You start at that level. And like the words like maneuver, onomatopoeia, I've attacked the ridiculously tough ones head on. I've had to do that. I can't run away. If somebody says, what's your link for that? I'll think of a link. It may not be very good, but I'm not going to run away from it. I refuse. Somebody says to me, doesn't work for everything. Oh, yes, it does. Some of the links are a bit dodge, but it's better than nothing. Mark, can I quickly put you on the spot?
Yes, go for it.
The word maneuver, okay? I did this. My link for this is very clever, but I thought the children aren't going to remember it. It's too difficult to actually put it in their head. But I wanted to show off my cleverness. I don't often think that, but this is a cool one. But I tried it, and they got it right. When I was working with these year 6 children, the weakest spellers in the class, they got it right. A month later, they got it right. But right, let's try this 10-year-olds, okay, not 8-year-olds. I tried it with year 4 children, the worst spellers in the class. You can't spell table. I showed them the trick. They got it right a week later and a month later. And I said, wow, that's ridiculous. I know what I've got is good, but this is ridiculous. So, Mark, write down the word maneuver. Go for it. Good luck on your mission.
Thank you.
Go, Tails. Come on, Tails. Come on, MT. By the way, there's only one word ending MT. Dreamt. It's the only word. Your initials. Right, anyway, how have you got on? Let's have a look. Are you confident, Mark?
I'm absolutely not very confident at all.
I love absolutely not at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so what have you got?
So I've got MAN OUVER. So RE rather.
RE, yeah. The Americans do ER stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, my app, there's about 20 words there that won't work in America, like colour and centre, but I've got a different version for that. There will be a different version, American version. But there's only about 20 words. Defence and manoeuvre is one of them. So manoeuvre, no, you've said again. MAN, what have you got?
OUVRE.
You missed out on E.
Ah.
Where are you going to put it?
It's somewhere before the other V.
But that's hardly brave, is it, really? I mean, come on. Like hedging your bets, mate. Come on.
Let's do after the U.
Unfortunately not.
Ah.
Before the U. You know earth in French, like OEUF, earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. This word, manoeuvre, okay, I'll give you the link first, and listeners may think, no, that's too difficult. But if an 8-year-old child who can't spell table can get it right a month later, it works. So you write down the word man. Then you above the word, next to the word man, you write the word hour, O-U-R, with a gap in between each letter. So O space U space R, okay? Just below that, in the space between O and U, you put the letter E. You basically put the word Eve below it in the gaps.
Yeah.
So you got our Eve. I spotted that. So what you do, you then put it together, hopefully something that's memorable. So a man tries to maneuver down our chimneys every Christmas Eve. And you maneuver the letters from O, the O of our, then E of Eve, U of our, V of Eve, R of our, E of Eve. So it's O. They picture 2 words up top right, and they've got to go for it. I thought that's clever, but they're not going to get it. They get it. They go O-E-U-V-R-E in their head. And I said to these children, if you're spelling maneuver correctly, okay, or onomatopoeia or accommodation, you think you can't spell? Unlucky. You are a big fat speller, okay? Don't tell the staff next week that you can't spell. All right. And they say, well, how can we argue? They get it right a month later. These are not key words for them, but the point is you're spelling ridiculous words. So when you see the word through or enough or straight or ceiling, don't get spooked. Don't worry about it. So Linkalot is there for you. I've done all these tricks. Do not get nervous about your spelling. Another great thing for this, Mark, is schools buy it, as well as parents. They put it in their interactive whiteboard, so it's a browser version as well. And they have Linkalot spelling sessions 3 or 4 times a week or 5 times a week for 10, 15 minutes. The school is now saying to the parents, don't worry about spelling. We have got spelling covered at school. All you need to know is, come July, your child will have learnt so many words nailed on. Now, if you want to join in at home and play along and watch, here's the code. But we've got it covered. Spelling test, spelling schmess, whatever, we've got it. And teachers now say this is awesome because we are doing our job. Before, this is so ironic, Mark, okay? Monday morning, spelling list, 10 words, spelling test. Here are the 10 words. The teacher marks them, takes their scores. Here's the irony. Go home and learn them. What are you talking about? My parents aren't wizards. Surely you teach us at school. You're the teachers. But the teachers say, we've got nothing. Rote learning sucks. We've got nothing. We're embarrassed. Learn them at home and start stressing out and arguing at home with your mum or dad or with the carer and get all stressed going there. Come back on Friday. They get 9 out of right, 10 right, 9 right, 2 right. Next week, next, rubbish. There's a father who spoke to me recently, said, Andy, my daughter last year got 300 out of 300 words, 30 tests, 10 a week. She got 299 correct out of 300. She can't spell at all. She just recognizes the words from 2-3 days beforehand. A week later, out of context, nothing. And I say to start at schools, you're kidding. Be careful. You're kidding children they can spell. If you're going to do spelling tests, at least have 10 random words so there's no pattern. Some schools do this, right? Words ending IGHT. Okay. So light, bright, fright, all 10. Okay. So you learn IGHT, test comes up, they're all in IGHT. Next, they've learned nothing. Absolutely. And they're kidding themselves. So now the school is saying, we are doing Linkalot spelling sessions in class. Thank you. And what they do, they assign a monitor, a Linkalot monitor, who plays animations 3 or 4 a day. It's all you need. They play them. The teacher then walks around the class doing individual learning, which is awesome. It means they're doing independent learning. The child then hands up, the teacher goes to that child. The hardest thing, as you know, in schools is getting the children's attention for half an hour. So Linkalot, they're zoned in. You've got their attention. Next clip, it's like a film clip. Brilliant. That's half the battle. And now you walk around helping the child. See the cup and the biscuit. See you, okay? The maneuver. Oh, I've got you, miss. Great. And that's to the teacher. And the teacher training, there is no teacher training, which is brilliant. That's very appealing to a school. You just play it. Away you go. Off you go.
And I guess what just occurred to me there is the fact that even for me as an adult now, and certainly as a parent, what it does take away is that fear of the fact that, but then I need to learn something new, because you have the tool to know that you can learn anything.
Yes, absolutely. You can put it into maths. Another boy said recently, this is great. I can now apply this to other subjects. I said, okay, just to warn you, you won't be able to think of links for everything straight away in other subjects. But the point is, it's better. It's an alternative to rote learning. And once in a while, you may think of a link. My friends, actually, they want to, like Eton sixth form, dropping a name, said to me, we want to beat your links. What's your link for Madagascar, Antananarivo? What's your link for, 1746 Culloden? We want to beat you. Well, bring it on. What do you got? And my friend, who goes around the country quite a lot on the train, he says, Andy, what are your weak links you want improving on? Let me know and I'll improve them. So adults, friends want to sort of beat my links. And that's great. There's more than one answer. I love that challenge of trying to think of a link. And I'm going to beat you, Taylor. Whatever. Is that it, Taylor? That's rubbish. Check this out. Well, no, it's not. Actually, my son loved it. Okay, well, good luck to you, So there's more than one answer. And also, you can't say, right, the capital of Sweden is Stockholm. You Stockholms from IKEA. You Stockholms from IKEA, right? That's the way to learn it, Mark. You're not allowed to do any other links. Stop. No. I've never heard of IKEA, so what are you talking about? How about this one then? You Stockholms with Swedes and parsnips. Okay, that works. There's more than one answer. So the child may say, I get what you're doing, Andy, but that was rubbish. Well, what do you got? Come on. And if it's really good, let me know. Oh, wow, your name's on the next app update. It's just getting the brain in that world of linking. No one's done it before to this extent. Nobody on this planet has done this many, certainly for spelling. In fact, Jen, I've done about 15, 20,000 links with more to come. But spelling, punctuation and grammar, etymology, homophone stuff, no one's done this. Nobody. No one's ever said to me, there's a guy like you out there. No, there's not. You got 20, 30 links. And they say, fair enough. That's why I wouldn't do this. If I was one of many competing, like a phonics program, there's 50 phonics programs out there, phonics programs or something. I think I'm one of 50. Forget it. No interest. No interest in just competing all the time and trying to jazz up the same thing. Nah, not for me. But I met Nick Gibb 3 years ago, Mark, the schools minister. He loved it. Loved it. Hopefully there's a good chance I'm going to go back to him. Ruth Miskin, the phonics queen, Read Write Inc. is the biggest phonics program in the country. She got an MBE in 2011. She got a CBE last year, not O, but C for her phonics work. Great stuff. She loved it, saying, Andy, I've got nothing for the red words. Let's try and think of links, So she gets it. After phonics comes mnemonics, is one of my ones. I'm happy with that. It's a goodie, even though I call it linking. So I'm getting some good, good endorsements, some good traction, and it's all really, it's going to be huge. It's a case of getting people's attention, and podcasts like yours can only help.
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time. I'm excited from where it can go, even from where you are now. But like you say, the updates of what you have and how it can expand into all different areas, I think is an incredibly exciting thing. And you said it's on Apple and it's on Google, so you can just literally search
anywhere,
for Linkalot and do that.
Yeah. And the website, sallinkalot.org, all bits and bobs happening there. Susie's always doing tweets, which is great. She's giving it a go. She loves it. Susie Dent is all over this. So this is awesome. She said, I don't put my name to many things. This is superb. I love it. She really does. She wants to tell children that's, it's just, what a fun way to learn, don't you think? And the fact that you can join in, isn't that even, it's not a case of marveling at Linkalot's cleverness. No. Some of my stuff's a bit dodge. What do you got? And that's great. I love that.
It's fantastic. Well, Andy, thank you so much for chatting. I really appreciate the time, and I think it's going to really enhance and support so many children in so many ways, not just the spelling, but like you said, from a personal point of view and confidence and all of that, and that's a real gift. So thank you very much for putting your time and effort into it, and I really wish you all the very best success going forward.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you having me on.
Thanks for listening to the Education on Fire podcast. For more information of each episode and to get in touch, go to educationonfire.com. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire.